Listen, shout out to Jake Paul. That motherfucker believes in himself, and I love that about him. I love that he went in there, held his balls, and Anthony Joshua went in there too to say, hey, I'm here.
The moment this fight ended, the internet didn't just react, it fractured. Because what we all watched wasn't just a heavyweight boxing match, it was a collision between confidence and consequence, hype and hard reality. Anthony Joshua didn't just beat Jake Paul that night, he dismantled an idea. And that idea was simple but dangerous. That belief alone can carry you through elite violence. Jake believed, loudly, publicly, fearlessly. And for that, people respected him.
He's looking to the stars, isn't he? Yeah, he's gone as there. Good stoppage, I think. We don't want to see anyone lose a life. I think it was a good stoppage. This fellow with the vest been loving it all the way through. I think he did all right, though. He did do all right, Jake Paul, to be fair.
But belief doesn't stop bone from breaking, and it doesn't cushion a jaw when a real heavyweight lands clean. That's the part fans are still struggling to process. Because Jake didn't quit. He didn't fold. He didn't run from the challenge. He stepped in, knowing the odds, and paid the price. A broken jaw, hospital lights, reality setting in fast. And suddenly,
oh! Oh, God. I don't know about boxing.
the bravado turned into reflection. You could hear it in his voice. Not excuses, just acceptance. That's when the tone shifted. When toughness stopped being a punchline and started being a consequence. But then came the noise. And the noise came fast. Praise mixed with delusion. Pride mixed with revisionism. Suddenly, the Paul camp wasn't talking about the knockout. They were talking about rounds.
I think Jake Paul's gonna knock him out.
About moral victories. About lasting longer than expected. And that's where the boxing world split right down the middle. On one side, people saying, give him credit, he survived. On the other, people saying, surviving isn't winning. And that argument isn't really about Jake Paul at all. It's about what boxing is supposed to mean. Because in boxing, toughness is respected, but damage is definitive.
If I'm honest, the whole fight was terrible on it. It was just so bad. It was just on it. A proper bad fight for AJ.
When the guy across from you breaks your jaw and sends you to the hospital, the scorecards don't matter anymore. You didn't lose on paper. You lost in reality. And that's why this fight triggered such a deep reaction, because it forced fans to ask an uncomfortable question. When entertainment collides with elite sport, who decides the standard?
I'm just so proud of him. My mom has it.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean, other heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
Right.
Like, minus the actual victory, obviously, of course, but bro, like, no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane.
Joshua, for his part, didn't dance around it. He gave credit where it was due, but he didn't sugarcoat the truth. 6 rounds raised eyebrows, and he owned that. He admitted the criticism was fair. But then he explained something casual fans miss. Breaking someone down isn't always fast, especially when the opponent's entire game plan is movement, survival, and disruption. Joshua wasn't chasing a viral knockout. He was draining Jake piece by piece, cutting off the ring, touching him.
Win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal. I'll be back.
I'm a little up, but when you take care of me forever and ever,
wearing him down, waiting. That's veteran thinking. That's someone who understands that rushing can cost you more than patience ever will. And when the opening finally came, it wasn't flashy. It was final. One clean sequence. One collapse.
His teeth look a bit removed as well.
Yeah, his teeth have come out.
And suddenly, all the talk about rounds disappeared. Because no amount of toughness rewinds that moment. What made this even louder was the reaction from Jake's corner, especially his brother. Logan Paul jumped in front of cameras claiming Jake won 4 rounds. 4. Not survived. 1. And that's where a lot of fans checked out, because you can praise courage without rewriting reality. You can respect heart without pretending damage didn't happen. When your fighter is getting dental work after the fight, arguing scorecards feels disconnected. And that disconnect is what turned this into a cultural argument instead of a simple recap. One side clapped for bravery, the other laughed at denial. And boxing purists were stuck in the middle watching their sport get dragged into influencer logic. Still, credit where it's due, and this matters. Jake Paul stepped into a ring with a man bigger, heavier, more experienced, and far more dangerous than anyone he'd ever faced. Most people will never do that. Ever. And that's why even his harshest critics acknowledged the guts it took to try.
It took 6 rounds to do that.
People will criticize you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel?
He took shots that have folded real heavyweights. He got up more than once. He kept moving even when his body was clearly betraying him.
Feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why?
Because, like, we're elite fighters. Like, so I put myself in the shoes of a coach.
That doesn't make him a winner, but it does make him tougher than most people online talking trash. And that's why the aftermath felt so conflicted. Because courage and consequence showed up in the same night, and people didn't know which one to focus on. Meanwhile, Joshua stood calm in the chaos. No chest beating.
If I was coaching Anthony Joshua and he went 6 rounds with Jake Paul, I would get him back in the gym tomorrow.
No over-celebration, just cold acknowledgement. He knew the narrative was coming. He knew people would question why it took 6 rounds. And he accepted it.
Give him a bit of a beating, and we're getting straight back to work, because I'll be like, how are you letting this kid take you 6 rounds?
That confidence, quiet, grounded, unbothered, told you everything. He didn't need to prove dominance with speed. He proved it with inevitability. And promoters like Eddie Hearn saw exactly what they expected. A professional handling business.
It's crazy. In boxing, there's a time when you systematically break someone down and you see their soul leaving their body.
While just not on the internet's preferred timeline. For them, this wasn't confusion. It was confirmation. The outcome never changed, only the pacing did. But the criticism didn't stop.
He punished you round after round, and like I wanted it to be slow and methodical. I swear, I dropped down now, and I just kept on hitting him. Sorry, go. Right, bro, I'll hit you for everyone in England. I was hitting him. I kept on hitting him, and I could see I had that mentality where I was like, remember in the press conference I said he's Iverson and I'm Jordan, and I was like, I'm gonna just keep breaking him down because he was elusive. He was moving well.
Some voices called it one of Joshua's worst performances. Ring rust, lack of urgency, missed chances. And honestly, some of that critique is fair. 15 months out of the ring shows. Timing dulls, rhythm fades. That's real.
Listen, shout out to Jake Paul. That motherfucker believes in himself, and I love that about him. I love that he went in there, held his balls, and Anthony Joshua went in there too to say, hey, I'm here, I never left, and just to showcase that everybody was entertained tonight, and that's the purpose, right? Boxing is entertainment, and everybody was entertained for sure.
Man, it was impressive. He took, the right hand a couple times. I've seen heavyweights take the right hand one time, and that was a wrap. I mean, deserves a lot of credit.
He does, he does. And again, this is the combat world, so shit happens, but you get back up, get back in the gym, and if he loves it just as much as I do, he knows that it's not the end, it's just the beginning.
But context matters. chasing a mover isn't easy, especially one whose entire goal is to avoid damage rather than inflict it.
Respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and you know it was difficult to nail him clean. I think, but eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul, because that last shot, I know he broke his, shattered his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavyweights out. So I've got to give him credit.
I was going to say, in the end, are you pleased with that? Because obviously everyone was saying this has to go there with this, that, and the other. But it's awkward when you've got a fighter who's moving a lot.
We knew he'd move. I didn't expect him to move that much. But listen, he didn't just run. He threw at times. Like, it wasn't, you know, but early on, very difficult to cut the ring off against someone who's moving so much. But also the rustiness of 15 months out, you know.
Fighters who run don't look impressive, but they complicate everything. And Joshua adapted. Slowly, yes, but effectively. He didn't gas, he didn't panic, he waited. And when he pulled the trigger, the fight ended immediately. That's not a failure, that's discipline.
He's gonna knock his head off in a minute. Oh. Oh! Yeah, it's over. There's no coming back from that. Yeah, over. 6th round.
He's looking to the stars, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone us there. Good stoppage, I think. We don't want to see anyone lose a life. I think it was a good stoppage. This fellow with a vest been loving it all the way through. I think he did all right, though. He did do all right, Jake Paul, to be fair.
What are you thinking if you're Anthony Joshua at this point?
I'd be absolutely buzzing. 50 mil in the bank. Easy fight. Get another one going quick, I say.
Who?
I don't know. Tyson Fury. Someone like that.
What this fight ultimately exposed wasn't just Jake Paul's ceiling. It exposed the illusion gap between influencer boxing and professional boxing. Training like a pro doesn't make you a pro.
I don't know. Get his fight with Tyson Fury going 5 years too late, but
still,
Jake's still sticking his tongue out and doing all kinds. But he did all right, Jake. It was entertaining.
Eddie's laughing.
Eddie's having a giggle.
Access doesn't replace experience, and confidence doesn't erase rankings. Jake skipped the line because he could. Money made that possible. Attention made it profitable. But gravity always pulls everyone back eventually.
The price for your sponsor in this video. Now let's get back to me having this bad take about Jake Paul knocking out Anthony Joshua. Shame on DJ.
That's what happened here. Not humiliation, correction. And sometimes, correction is harsher than embarrassment because it lingers. You heal the jaw, but the lesson stays. And yet, here's the part people are missing.
That tempo change, he doesn't really have that yet. And I think for somebody who's successful, wealthy, can have the state-of-the-art training, that should be something that it should come natural, right? So, but I would like to see Jake Paul take a little more training, work on certain technical things, work on the cardio, maybe even come down a weight, right? I mean, I think he could probably lose a little weight, get more shredded, and be a lot faster than being a cruiserweight. I don't know what that weight class is. And I'd like to see him fight a boxer, not an influencer, a boxer. I'd love to see him fight Darren Till, a real fighter who's good at boxing, a good size, big man. And I just like to see him continue to fight, not guys that are influencers, but guys who box.
This wasn't the end of Jake Paul's story, unless he decides it is. He survived something that was supposed to erase him. He learned something real. And whether he doubles down or redirects will define the next chapter. As for Joshua, this fight wasn't about speed or highlight reels.
In 6 rounds, got Jake Paul out of there, dropped him. I think he got stopped on his feet, counted out, knocked out, whatever, however you want to call it. It wasn't a bad knockout. It wasn't an El Sparko. He wasn't rendered unconscious, but he got done. He got it on the chin. He went over. He didn't beat the count. He was sort of up on his feet. But if I'm honest, the whole fight was terrible on it. It was just so bad. It was just shit, wasn't it? A proper bad fight for AJ. And let me start with AJ. AJ was following him around the ring a little bit, sort of pouring with the jab, putting the jab on the shoulder of Jake Paul, sort of putting him in the corner and not really pulling the trigger on the right hand. He didn't seem to didn't seem to be motivated to go in there and just smash Jake Paul into oblivion in the first 1 or 2 rounds, which I think he could have done. But he's been out the ring 15 months, a bit slow on his feet, a bit ring rust maybe.
It was about reminding the world that heavyweight boxing isn't a game. It's controlled damage. And when it lands with finality. So now the questions shift. Who does Joshua fight next? Does he chase legacy or spectacle?
Amateurs, even when I was a world champion pro, if you're not motivated, sometimes you can have a couple of bad rounds and you're sort of looking at your opponent and a jab hits you or right hand hits you. And I think AJ was in a bit of a daze early on, just walking him around, touching the jab on his shoulder, not really pulling the trigger on the right hand. Didn't look like he got out of first gear. Jake Paul was just on pure survival mode from round 1 right through to round 6. I don't know if he's got a moral victory going 6 rounds. Maybe he has. People might give him credit for going 6 rounds, but he got in there and just survived. He just went in there and ran like a chicken from round 1 right through to round 6 when he got splattered. And it's like, it's just, you can't really justify what he's done because this is supposed to be a professional sanctioned boxing match.
And for Jake, is this the moment he steps back, refines, and actually climbs the ladder? Or does he realize some doors exist for a reason? That's where the real drama lives now. Not in the knockout, but in what comes after.
The sad thing is, I think if Jake Paul was fit enough and he had the energy and the engine, which he hasn't got, because he's not, for me, he's not a professional athlete. You know, he goes in the gym every day and he trains and he's fit and he trains like a pro. But that don't make you a professional fighter. What makes you a professional fighter is building yourself up through the ranking system, earning your position in the professional sport, and you know, proving yourself, climbing the rankings, getting the right wins at the right time. He's jumped the queue, and Jake Paul, because of the old money. So he's in there with a guy who's got no chance of beating. Can't do anything with him, can't hurt him with a shot. So he's on survival mode, running, holding, falling on the floor. It was an embarrassment. That's what it was. Embarrassment. I would have been embarrassed if I was AJ, but I'd have been like disgusted with myself and completely embarrassed if I'm Jake Paul.
If this breakdown changed how you see the fight, hit like. Drop your honest take in the comments. Did Joshua take too long? Or was this textbook control? And subscribe for more deep dives that don't just replay moments, but explain why they matter. Because the fallout from this fight isn't over, it's just getting started.
Joshua did what he had to do. It took him a while to get it. He had to break him down and chase him down and unleash his powerful shot.
Was it a little too long to get done, or?
No, listen, when you fight someone like that, it moves around a lot, then you have to try and pick your moments, pick your shots.
Yeah.
That's what he did, so congratulations to Joshua.
Man, and credit to Jake Paul, right, for even taking the challenge.
He's a very gutsy man.
Yeah. So, he got up, what, 3 times? I mean, you felt that power. Are you impressed that he lasted that long?
Very impressed.
Yeah.